Hello. How is everybody? Hi. Happy week. I hope you had a happy weekend. I'm trying to get my dog to join me. Debak, you want to say hi? Such a VIP. You want to say hi, Debak? No. Is not coming to me. Okay. Let me say hi to everyone. Seda, Robin, Nadira, um, Norwegian, Hanako Grace, Robin Carr, Jolie, Kay, Amy, Emily, Jasmine, Erica, Carol Faye, Alicia, Fire Butterfly, Amy C, Lisa Parker, I am Claudia, OSP, Jasmine, Courtney, Fire Butterfly, Robin Carr, Norwegian Wood, Sarah, Nadira, Maritz, Bangi Luna. Oh, you changed. Yeah, I got your message that you changed your account. It's so weird what happened to your account. Um, Nikon Lady, Fire Butterfly, Cindy, Shelling, Alta. There's more joining. MLB, Lisa Parker, Seda, Pia, Just Me CDV, Warren, Iris, Helene, Orchid, Andy Big Night Sky, GB, Consuelo, Kay Inoka. Fire Butterfly is funny. Reg Pear, Arlise, Bomac, Pia, Jasmine, um, Dodger Girl, Nadira, Carla, Leah, Army C, Erica, Kez, Kugi, Alina, myself, Senri, Ras Bob, Joyce, A. Brown, Rory, Michelle is on X. Hi, Michelle. Um, CMB family, Deborah, Lady Pink, Lisa, Fire Butterflies on Twitch, Lisa Parker, Donna, OT7, XOXO Lynn, Dodger Girls also on Twitch, Aspen World, da, da, da. Mina and Nigma Price, Jackson Ree, Fire Butterfly, Deborah, LMS Potential Morning, Lorena, Elazar, Rory, Goldwind Woodsea, more cute has Thank you. If I my laugh actually made him come out. Come here. Oh my god, you're so dirty. What did you do? Come on. Come on. I want to eat for you. You say hi. Say hi, 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 hi. Say hi. I'm gonna get my. So I was supposed to take him to grooming today, but the groomer canceled. So it has to be tomorrow. Um, da Carla girl, Jasmine, fire butterfly. Okay, where was I? Norwegian Seda, Cher, Kathy Swamp Queen, Michelle Santiago. Okay, I think I've said hi to everybody. Rachel, Yangi or Yanji, Deborah, Mom to Mac. Hi on Twitch. PZ 48128. Warren R. Iris Matthew, Enigma Price, Lorena, Elazar, Robin. Okay. Uh, 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 HHK, Seda, MZ General, Lisa Parker, Joy. Hello, everybody. How are you? Oh, I wasn't able to add my slides. Give me 1 second. So we're going to talk about some interesting things today. Um, where was it? Ah, that is not what I wanted to add. Sorry. Let's remove that and let's replace it. What is love? What is love? Okay, where were you? BTS updates is what I wanted to add. Highest audience occupancy rate. So whoever chose another artist um for for Wembley, you missed out big time. Okay. So, Letitia, hello. Okay, so we have some stuff to talk about today. We can probably start with BTS, right? So that everything, so that's we're all in a good mood. Okay, so I'm so happy to join the live today, though it's 1 and 10 a. Wow, oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm usually up at 1, so that's not really, but I hope that you're okay. But and if you need to go and sleep, just go do that. Health is your priority, of course. Okay, so we have a new record, which is the highest occupancy rate in the history of a single show at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I hope I pronounced that right. So they are going to be performing before 120,000 attendees across 2 nights. I think I've mentioned to you before that according to my source, they are working out a Wembley probably for the encore. I watched your video today, really enjoyed it. Oh, thank you, Seda. So I actually think that had it been Wembley, they would have gotten more. Well, number one, I think it is pretty obvious based on the response of Europeans that the two shows in London is not enough. So they actually were really asking for at least one more night, possibly two more nights. But what I've heard from my sources is that they're trying to work out a Wembley, but probably it's going to be an encore. And it's not guaranteed with all the concerts, usually these things are booked way in advance. So even if they are willing to commit way in advance, there's still other artists are also doing that. So let's see. I hope that they actually make it happen because I do think that there would be more people coming into London to watch had it been Wembley, and that includes me. Had it been Wembley, I would have wanted to be a part of it regardless of whether I get nosebleed tickets or whatever, I wouldn't care. I just want to be a part of it basically. So 120,000, that's a record. Congratulations to BTS and of course to armies. And then they finally released the procedure on how you can actually get a ticket for the Gwanghwamun concert. And that's actually the subject of my video that I published this morning because as anything that they do, it's going to garner both support and hatred. So it wasn't really surprising that a lot of people actually took it the wrong way. But according to them, there is an eligibility requirement and that you have to buy specific items from weavers during the eligibility period. And so a lot of armies, or at least haters or people that are claiming to be armies, feel that that's unfair because a lot of people actually already bought their albums before this announcement. So a lot of people felt like, well, I would have waited to buy something if I knew that that was going to be a part of the requirement for you to get a chance to get a ticket. So even if you do buy during the eligibility period, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get a ticket. You still are going to be entered into our raffle, and whoever wins, they get a ticket. Now, just as I've mentioned in my video, it doesn't mean that just because you don't have a ticket, you don't get to go. That's not how it works. You can go. You can go there and you can watch. You won't have a seat, but you can go. So it is correct that it is free because you can still go. And that is how any kind of public celebration is actually done. The ticketing, if it exists at all, it usually means for a specific area, but then everybody is welcome to go. So the Seoul Metropolitan Police said that they are estimating 260,000, up by 60,000 because it used to be just 200,000. Now it's 260,000. So that's good news. At least they are starting to realize just how powerful army is, just how powerful BTS is. I also don't know where that computation actually estimate came from, because in the last anniversary where BTS didn't even appear, there were 400,000 people who were there. So I'm assuming that this is going to be right around that area, or at least more than 300,000. So that's good that it's actually 260,000, that they actually increased their estimate, but I still think that it is very conservative. And I hope that they continue increasing that. But going back to this, so they have given no indication that they're going to wall it off. That means even though there are people that will be able to sit in the area, there are people that can stand around the venue and they will be able to watch. And also, there have been tips that came out as to how you can actually find a good spot to see them. You won't be close. You're probably going to need a binocular, but you can go. So it is free. That part is correct. It's just that if you want a seat, then you need to enter the raffle. And this is entirely normal. Okay. So you do need to buy specific items, and they're going to be announcing at 11 a.m. I don't know what time. Maybe they have already announced, but they're going to announce which those are. And when you buy, then you are, let's see if they've already announced it. Then you can actually join the raffle. So okay, let's see if they've announced anything. Unfortunately, I actually didn't get the a light stick. It before I was busy. I guess they haven't. So I was busy I had to do some errands for my mom, and then I took him to the park. So I really didn't have time to go online. By the time I went home, it was sold out. So okay, I hope I get a chance. So I actually am going to ask one of it who can buy. So the it's going to be available in Target on the 19th. I'm leaving on the 18th. So I was gonna ask if anyone is actually gonna buy. Can you go buy one for me? It's going to be available online and in store on the 19th, and I'm leaving on the 18th. So, I was gonna ask, like, if anyone's actually gonna go and buy, can you buy me one? CMB family, you can, yay! You have lots of time to get one, so don't sweat it. I'm hoping to get one, but yeah, but that's the entire point. Like, I mean, even if I don't get to buy, it's not going to stop me from celebrating with everybody. I'm going to if I don't get to buy a new one, I'll just carry the old one, and then I guess it's just not going to be remotely controlled. It was a bloodbath trying to get the Lightstick Weavers and PayPal crash. I heard that it actually crashed almost automatically as soon as it went on sale. It crashed automatically. This is why I'm actually starting to think that having distributors like Target, Walmart, Amazon is actually wise, because they obviously don't have the technical capacity to accommodate armies, to accommodate the demands. I think it is time to really distribute, like tap other distributors to get this done. There's just no way around it. Okay, so Target is also selling them, but it's going to be available on the 19th. Maybe it's going to be available in Korea when you go there. I hope so. I'm going to be sharing some of my plans with you. Okay, so all right. Okay, so that's that for that part. And then everyone knows that this is suddenly starting to pop out, and there have been three cities where they've seen this. What is your love song? And then so this is Seoul. They saw the same thing in London. And then if there's anybody from London here, maybe you can take also your own picture. And this is in New York. And this is crazy because when I saw this, I did not have any clue what the picture was. I just knew it was New York. I'm not even from there. I'm like, that's New York. I don't know how I knew that, but I was right. This is in New York. And it is What Is Your Love? And a lot of people were asking, like, are we sure this is BTS? Well, it's the aesthetics is very, very similar to their 2026 announcement. So it's very similar to the website where the album and the tour details are. So I guess it is. If it is not, for as long as we're hyping BTS, we're good. Okay, so I've always said, like, I don't care if it is fan made or whatever, for as long as it is hyping BTS, let's go. As long as the beneficiary is BTS. Now, the other thing is that apparently, if you would remember the seven Koreans that first recorded Arirang in the US, the title of the song was actually Love Song. It's like it's not really the title, but more like um, it was a title that the American gave the the song, Love Song Arirang. And so a lot of people feel that it's still very much connected to Arirang because of this, because of the history. So the professor, their professor, gave the title Love Song Arirang on their recording. So it wasn't really the Koreans that gave the title, the seven men, but it was the professor that gave them the title. So let's see what's going to come out of it. So a lot of people are guessing because also there's a Spotify playlist that came out, and there are six songs: self love, fandom love, romantic love, healing love, unrequited love, and nostalgic love. And everything says um, uh, uh, what is your love song as the subtitle. And I think it is like all the all the each of this track, so it's blank, but each of the track, if each of the track is 58 seconds, I think, each. So 5 plus 8 is about 13. It's not about 13, but it is 13. um so they're speculating that it is connected to this, and that they might actually release it for Valentine's Day. So let's see. um let us see. Somebody saw that there's Hybe on the poster. Okay, somebody saw that there you go. Somebody saw there's Hybe on the poster. Okay. I'm sure Weavers will restock. Question is when. Elizar, nickname given to us by haters. What is the nickname given to us by haters? In my country, the cost of the light stick increases 3 or 4 times with shipping and taxes, so I don't think I'll buy. Nigma price. Well, maybe you can. If you're, are you going to another country to buy a concert? Maybe you can ask somebody in the community to buy for you, and you can just get it when you see each other. Arirang and on the poster. Yes, in London there's Hybe on the poster. Okay. So there's Reg Perry saying that on in London there's Hybe. The logo of Hybe is actually on the poster. So let's see what's I there's a lot of guesses. I kind of of course I always encourage people just putting out their theories and talking about it. So I definitely think that that's healthy for BTS. I'm sorry, did I? Okay. He was like, "Why did you remove?" Wait, wait, baby, I'm looking for something. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, 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 okay. All right. So the shipping to I saw the BTS thing at the London Bridge. Magandang araw, Lara said good morning. Okay, so I'm Claudia. Shipping here to NZ is crazy expensive. Okay, so I always encourage people just putting out their theories, anything that could get us to talk about BTS in a positive. For snacks for Debak, what I have for Lane and love all. Oh, thank you, Nadira. Debak, you have money for your treats. You say thank you. Say thank you. Okay. So I always encourage people putting out, but at this stage also just for myself, I don't want to really like get too much into the the theories. Although whenever I see one, and for as long as I think that it is positive, I still give them a like. If I feel that it should be reshared, then I actually reshare it because, or I leave a comment simply because I always encourage people talking about the art itself. I think that's healthy. That I think that adds to the voice. So it's essentially marketing. But at the same time, personally, at this stage, I kind of want to be surprised by BTS. So I also try not to think too much about it because I just want them to surprise me. But I always encourage people putting out their own theories. So I love this. Like people are there are some great theories around it. And one of which is that they think this is like some sort of a Valentine's gift from BTS to armies. Some people think that it's not necessarily going to be included in the album. Some people think it is going to be included in the album. Let's see. But I there are some people who think that this is actually some sort of a greeting from them, maybe like a short like note to armies. But let's see what's going to come out of it. I do think personally though, I do think that it might be connected to the album. The aesthetic is certainly similar. And then the other thing is that it's too big. I mean, it's already in 3 cities. So it's kind of a big undertaking for it to be like a one-off kind of thing. So I think it's definitely connected to the album. What's 13 minutes? It's not so each of this song that they saw on Spotify is actually it goes for 58 seconds. So 5 plus 8 is 13, as we know, is a significant number. That's their anniversary. so um so yeah. Okay. Now, the other thing, another point of conversation is that the increase of the estimated number of people that will be coming to Seoul for the Gwanghwamun concert. And last week it was 200,000, and this week it's going to be 260,000. And in one of the releases, there's the police head or whoever it was that was giving the press conference stated that it could actually be more. So they are entertain. So that's a good sign because it means that they're not dead set on 260,000. That they're still sort of gathering data and it might still increase because I do think 260,000 is still a conservative estimate. And when you're controlling that kind of a crowd, an underestimation is bad. When you're trying to control a crowd, it's always better to overestimate, meaning to prepare for more than to prepare for less because it's especially if it is BTS, it's high profile and we know the amount of haters and the thing that people are actually um willing to do to try and harm BTS. Now, I'm sure that you have heard of it this that the Seoul Metropolitan Police is actually asking Big Hit to provide for more security. And a lot of armies are raising concerns about this. It is natural for Big Hit to actually shoulder 100% of the cost. That's natural because this is a public space. It's not like a stadium or anything. If it is a stadium, they're still shouldering 100% of the cost. And this one is a public space. So this area is actually maintained by the the taxpayers in South Korea, and it is a historical area. So it is natural for the police and for everybody concerned to actually want to make sure that Hybe is going to provide the best kind of security that they're going to have measures to ensure that the place is going to be preserved. If you have 200,000 people, 300,000 people there, it's very hard to control these people. We know that armies are generally more. Are you okay, baby? You want to go down? Want to go down? Yeah, yeah, say bye bye. I have to say bye. You're not comfortable. It's pushing me. Okay. Okay. He's kind of heavy too. Like I lose the blood flow in my leg when he's on my my leg. It's big. Too big for me now. He's too big for me now. Okay. So it is natural. I know that. I mean, I'm not a fan of how the government has treated BTS or Big Hit for that matter, or Hybe in general. But it's natural. It's a public space. It's a historical area. It's a historical landmark for them, a cultural landmark for them. So, of course, authorities would want the guarantee that it is going to be preserved. And the other thing is that I mean, God forbid that something actually happens there. Everybody's going to blame BTS and Big Hit. So I would rather, in fact, I would rather that they actually overestimate than underestimate. They have to prepare for this. So that's one. And then the second is, of course, the security of Big Hit of BTS. They have to take care of that. So yeah, I mean, I want them to deploy the most elite kind of security. So this is absolutely normal that they are going to be shouldering all of the expenses. They have to shoulder all of the expenses. So don't like blast on the Seoul Metropolitan Police for asking for more. They definitely should. Um, how would I go about getting tickets to Busan if there's any available? I'm considering doing that as friends who live in Seoul are encouraging me to come and visit. I'll discuss that in a bit. Remind me to answer this question after this portion. Okay. So they are using a public space. They need to spend for what they actually are going to do. So that is absolutely natural. So they said that 260,000 people are expected to gather for BTS's Gwanghwamun concert, and they're actually going to be deploying special forces because they want to make sure that there are no terrorist threats or whatever. And as I've mentioned, I think they do have to do that. Uh, there are this is BTS is going to be there. The last time this happened in the 10th anniversary, 400,000 people showed up, but BTS was not there. So if there's a lot of like crazy people around and just in overall bad people around, and this is going to be a perfect place for them to do something bad. So yes, they do need protection, and it is good that they're actually thinking of deploying the special forces. And this is not an ordinary part of what they do. So BTS and Big Hit does need to provide for that. And then the other thing is the security of Big Hit, BTS themselves. We are aware of the threats of people saying that they want to harm this member, they want to harm that member. Some people have actually tried. So, and we know that Jungkook has had a lot of intruders in his house. If they're willing to do that in a private space to get to Jungkook, they would be willing to do that in a public space. Now, a crazy fan who wants to kiss them is absolutely horrendous, but that's not the worst of it. In fact, I would say a crazy fan who wants to kiss Jungkook or Jimin or V or whatever. Mr. Lee can handle that. But what you don't want to happen is someone that actually wants to harm them or one of them for that matter. So special forces should be deployed. And then the other thing is that let's always remember that everything that they do is amplified. This is BTS we're talking about. You're talking about crazy fans, crazy people, crazy haters, and then you're talking about keyboard warriors who are willing and are waiting for something to actually go wrong, and they will amplify that and then blame BTS and then accuse BTS and Big Hit and Hybe of being incompetent, and then saying that you should put them to jail or they should pay more and they should you we know the drill. We know the drill. So let's be gentle a little bit, lay off on just the authorities at this stage, as far as I can tell, they're doing their job well. With all this preparation, they should be over preparing rather than under preparing, because this is BTS we're talking about. Number one is their security, and then the security of the crowd, and all of the things that we know haters are willing to do just to break and destroy their reputation. So yes, let's get it done. So when they're talking about that, they should now, of course, it's I understand that a lot of people say think that, and this is true, a lot of people, because the one that will really benefit from it is, of course, Seoul, because of all the visitors that are going to be descending upon the city. Okay, so they have a plan, and this is a good one, because they really, that it means that they really are thinking about this. So the special task force led by the deputy commissioner for public safety has already formed some, like a like an outline on how they're going to be managing the event. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Okay, so they have a plan on how they're going to be managing the event. So they said that they're going to be dividing it into four zones. So core, hot, warm, and cold zones. And they're going to be splitting 15 managed sections. And then in each section, so the entire circle, there will be 15, they'll divide it into 15, and then each section, they will have a designated team assigned to that section. Now this is actually a standard way of managing a huge crowd. In um you sort of have a commander in each of the section, and then usually the police is, the standard procedure is that you would think that um all of this, everyone in the crowd is a suspect. That's essentially how you're going to be doing it. You're like, everyone is actually a suspect. So anyone who moves, you're looking at that person. Um, so you're kind of like, yeah, I guess that's the best way of putting it. That you will assume that everyone is a suspect, and so and then if it is a sensitive event like this, then you amplify the security with special forces who are trained for close combat. So they this is actually their specialty when it is contained in a space, rather than like a jungle where it's war and it's just it's a so special forces, the SDT, this is their specialty. When it is contained in an area, this is what they study for and train for. Okay, so that's good that they're actually there. Okay. I because I remember, um so I used to work for the president, and I I, I remember that I'm just trying to wonder if I can actually say this. Um Okay, maybe not. So let's just proceed. Okay. So there's going to be violent crime response units and police special forces will be forward deployed for crowd control, bomb inspection. So do expect a lot of like K9 in there as well, suspicious person checks and counterterrorism operations. What I would give as a tip is that you just comply. If you are there and the police officer asked you to show your purse or whatever, just comply. Do what they want. If they ask you to open your purse or show your whatever, if they think that why are you carrying that, give it to them. Don't have your passports ready, have your IDs ready. Just don't give them any reason to suspect you. That is if you don't want any kind of inconvenience. Can Debak sniff out bombs? I don't think so. He can sniff a lot of things though. Okay. Police will also crack down on ticket and accommodation scams linked to the event. Okay, so that's a minor thing. The major thing would be any kind of weapon, any kind of like, but that's I guess the number one tip that I can give you in in a event like this. Comply. They ask you a question, answer them, and be honest about it. Of course, if they put you aside for questioning. They ask you for something. Tell them what you're going to be doing next. Don't just move. Like, okay, if they ask, like, for, do you have an ID? And you say, yes, it's in my purse. Can I reach out for it? I'm going to show it to you. Just comply because you don't want any kind of trouble in a place like this. You want to enjoy. Okay. So Hive secured 3,500 personnel already, and they're still asking for more. And that is, I think, is a reasonable request. Remember, 3,500. If there are 260,000 people in that, how many how many people will be assigned to one personnel if you have 3,500,000 people, right? So that's not enough. Um, that's the best way on how you can think about it. So let's just say 3,500 people. If there are 260,000 people there and you have 3,500 security personnel, how many people will be assigned to one person? And as I've said, this is not an ordinary event. This is BTS. So, expert squirrel sniffer. He is an expert squirrel sniffer. He has developed that through the years. Like he can actually track down a squirrel. um, okay, and the police emphasized the need for extra precautions due to crowds spilling onto roadways, and that's another thing. Most likely because it's going to they will probably reroute traffic because 260,000 will not fit in the square. So, get an ID card, get an ID card necklace so I don't have to go into her bag. So, I have this like buddy bag that is it actually almost it's very yeah, it fits my entire body, and that's where I put usually my ID, and it's usually under my shirt and under my jacket. Now, in like places like Europe, because there's a lot of pickpockets, that's very useful. In South Korea, it's not ramp. The pickpockets are not ramp. It happens. So, but the most important thing is that it is convenient because it's attached to my body. It's a body bag, so it's easy for me to reach. Okay. Um. Next. So now there are a lot of there's an estimate that went around X and Facebook and Instagram and even TikTok about the estimate that this is going to bring in 10 trillion in 1 year. That this event alone is going to bring in 10 trillion dollars, and that would one and that is 6.8 billion. So a lot of people are like asking how can that be possible? Like 6.8 billion dollars, like how much will a single person be spending, and how many people have to come um in order to build up to 6.8 billion dollars. Okay. So there usually is the Korean Ministry of Tourism or something like that. They already have an estimate as to how much one visitor usually spends when they travel into Korea. So they spend for aviation and travel, accommodation, retail distribution, and then local commercial areas. And this is the immediate expense. So this is what you spend in direct connection to what you go there for. So in this specific time, because people are going there for that concert, you're looking at aviation and travel, you're looking at accommodation, retail and distribution includes food, and then local commercial areas because people are going to be assuming that you're going to be buying this and that, not necessarily for shopping, but just some of the things that you will need to buy for yourself. Okay, so direct connection to what you're spending for. Or what, sorry, direct spend, spend in direct connection to your purpose of the travel. Okay, so these are the four things. Okay, so remember that. Now, this is like it went around. This is the the graphics that went around in connection to that estimate. Okay, so authorities, the Korea's tourism industry already estimated they have a specific number uh, per foreign visitor whenever they go to Korea for a specific reason, like a concert or a combat, whatever. So they said that usually one person will be spending 3,425. And that's your bare minimum. That's your hotel, flight, food, and whatever it is that you went there for. So, for example, for a concert. So that's the bare minimum. Okay. Just to give you an example. So I was trying to book my flight, and it's very late, as you all know. Trying to book my flight to South Korea, and initially I thought, oh, I'll probably like find like a $900 round trip ticket. Nope. The cheapest that I found, and this is like economy where I won't even have the chance to choose my seat. They'll probably put me in the wheel or whatever. I don't know. So that's already 1,400. And then you add in your accommodation, and if you go to like Expedia, hotels.com, you are probably going to be spending at a minimum, if you stay there for 4 nights, not even for a week, you're probably looking at 1,200. So the 3,400 that they estimated, that's really the bare minimum that they are looking into, that they think you will be spending in. Now, this is Jasmine became a member level, rise and shine. Thank you, Jasmine. So in the week. So um so the so okay, so they think their estimate, not they think that their estimate is that each person that will be going to Korea for this specific event will be spending 3,425, which is already an underestimation. So remember, we're trying to determine if the 6 billion estimate is actually plausible, like the $6 billion that they think this event is going to bring into Seoul is actually plausible. That's what we're trying to get at, because a lot of armies are saying, oh, this is 10 trillion year. Okay, let's estimate that. So if each person is spending 3,425, that means that there has to be 1.99 million people that will be coming into Korea connected directly or indirectly to this event, and they should be spending at a minimum 3,425. Is that possible? Is the question. Is that possible that there will be 1.9 million people that will come into Korea directly or indirectly because of this event? Okay. So 1.9 million people seems like a lot. Now think about this. In the 10th anniversary, when BTS wasn't even there, 400,000 people actually went to South Korea, went to that specific area to celebrate. Okay, not all of that would be foreigners. And this estimate is for foreign visitors. So let's just assume that there it is half. So 200,000 people of the 400,000 are foreign visitors. So if it is half, then you're already covered. The 1.99 target that you have is then you chop away the 200,000 people. And then you're looking at 1 year. So this estimate is 1 year. They said that this event will bring in $6 billion for a year. That means that they are already including visitors that will be coming in indirectly because of this event. Because not everyone who wants to be a part of the event will be able to come in to South Korea in that specific date. So, if an event with no BTS appearance can bring in 200,000 foreign visitors, then an event with BTS can bring in 1.99 in a span of 1 year, not in that specific event alone. So it is very, very possible. And remember, that estimate only counts the minimum spend of 3,425. But we all know that people are going to Olive Young so that they can buy tier Youth, Chanel. They're going to be going to they're going to buy the Chanel blue perfume. They're going to buy the Lador, so they're going to be searching the different stores. So all of these things, and we're going to go to Compost Coffee. We're going to be going there every day simply because that's where V is. That's the company that V is or the brand that V is endorsing. So a lot of the spend, it's already counted into that, the $6 billion. So 3,425 is the bare minimum that we'll be spending. That's the bare minimum. Ticket itself and hotel, that's nothing. You've all, and food, like the basic food that you're going to be getting. So yeah, the 6 billion is definitely plausible in a span of 1 year. Not in this 2-day event, but in a span of 1 year, that's possible. I want Jimin's hair oil. I have it. It's really good. I would love to go to Compost Coffee. I would, so I'm a coffee person. I'm not really like, I don't um like uh what do you call this? Like I don't like a lot of stuff in my coffee, just one coffee. I do like cappuccino though, but I am mildly lactose intolerant. This is my TMI for you guys. So I do have to take coffee with sugar only after I have a meal. Like I have, my tummy can't be empty, or there's going to be a series of unfortunate events. I'm mildly, but if my tummy's okay, like if I have something, and then I take in uh milk, then I'm okay. So when I go to Compost Coffee, I usually have like their black coffee, just their house coffee, or if it is after a meal, then I can have cappuccino, but it's really good. I mean, I'm sure with how careful V is with his branding, I'm sure that he at least tried it or asked people about it, and it's really good. So um okay. What's the name of Jimin's dad? Someone's asking. Mm, so I want to get Compost Coffee. Hope it will go to US at some point. I think it will. It was bought by a Philippine company, by the way. What's the name of Jimin's dad coffee shop? Z Millennial. Z Millennial is the name. The PTD Las Vegas event in 2022 was estimated to have brought in 160 million in revenue. That was for a 4-day concert. The conservative estimates are on point, in my opinion. And most of the people that went to Las Vegas are US locals. And they're in this computation, they're talking about foreign visitors. So yeah, the computation is definite. And it's 1 year. It's not like it's that 2-day event or 1-day event. So yeah, the 6 billion is definitely plausible. Jimin's dad probably gonna need a bigger restaurant for Busan concert. I have Jimin's hair oil. It's wonderful. I sometimes put it on my arms. Really? I usually put it on my hair, but it's really good. I love it. I used to use another brand, but I've shifted to this because just it's really good. I just love it. Almond milk in my coffee. I used to, but it's not the same kind of experience. Um, so yeah, caramel macchiato cold is my favorite. No, not magnate. Z millennial. It used to be magnate. They changed it to C millennial. Z millennial. Sugar's family restaurant is it a coffee shop? No, it's a restaurant. And so that's another thing, right? Like when we go, we make it a point to go to all of these places that's connected to BTS, the very first restaurant that they, or not the very first restaurant, but the restaurant they used to frequent when they were trainees. And then we go to the third apartment or dorm that they had that was converted into a coffee shop. We go to Busan so that we can go to Jimin's the coffee shop of Jimin's dad, Jin's restaurant in Seoul, or his brother, and now the restaurant of Suga's brother in also in Seoul. So all of these things, we spend a lot of things for all of that. And if you look at it, like for example, the restaurant where which they used to frequent when they were trainees, it's actually very affordable. I think to this day, you can still get a complete meal for like less than $15. I and so they I think they have chosen to keep their price very low. I do think that they should increase it by now. But anyway, so even if it is not much, if you put it together, it's really a lot. So, okay, I want to try Vietnamese coffee. Okay, let's look for, before I proceed, Cafe Farbenyan. And then that's another one, the coffee shop of RM's sister. Okay. Do you need to pre-book reservations for the restaurants you are planning to go to? No, 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 no. There are most of those restaurants, like the restaurant that used to be, that was like the restaurant that they used to frequent during trainee period. No, you have to walk in and then you have to just queue up. Okay. So 1.99 million people spending 3,425 is definitely possible, because most likely the real average is right around 5 grand for each person going to Seoul, going to South Korea. Maybe even 5,500 or 6 grand. So definitely plausible. Okay. So that's the computation. If 260,000 of if of the 260,000 people, of a quarter will be coming from outside of Korea, which I think is not. I think it's going to be more. Okay. Another news, Spaghetti was actually chosen as one of the songs of the year by Rolling Stone Korea. So it's not the only song of the year. It's actually songs of the year. And it's one of that. So you have Spaghetti by Le Seraphim and J Hope. You also have Golden, Apathy, Blue Valentine, and Endangered Love, Jump, Buddy, Overdrive. This is for Good Goodbye, Good Thing, and Drowning. But very happy for Le Seraphim and for J Hope for getting chosen. I know that you will probably see, or some of you will see, a lot of discourse about how horrible the song is, that this is actually like a TikTok kind of song. It isn't. And that the entire point of the song is that a lot of people would actually will hate on them based on something that they don't understand. The song was actually intentionally written that way to mock haters. Okay. So when people stop like, this is a horrible song, the whole point is actually about that. They wrote the song specifically for people like that. That is the entire point. It is not superficial. The song at all is not superficial. It was written so that people who understand the hate and who aren't hating would understand the meaning. But those who are hating will not understand the meaning. That's the whole point. That's why the song is actually brilliant. And I'm so glad that J-Hope actually chose to amplify the message instead of hijacking the song. So the song, the entire concept came from Yoonjin, one of the members of Les Seraphim. So that was her concept. It was developed by her. But when they got J Hope to sing the rap part of the song, instead of he could have hijacked it because this is simply that good. But instead, he actually chose to amplify the message of the Seraphim. So it does deserve to be one of the songs of the year. They also released their musicians of the year, and that's Espa, All Day Project, Boy Next Door, G Dragon, I'll It, Ive, Jenny, Rise, Rose, 17 Stray Kids, and Zero Base One. So congratulations to everybody. Okay, next. They arrived. Do you have any questions about the songs of the year and musicians of the year? I guess they're too deep in their hate to understand anything. Either too deep in their hate, or just they don't have the gray matter in between their ears to actually understand what the song is. I'm still scratching my head over GD. Um, I know that, especially in the Bora land among armies, because BTS has spoken so highly of Big Bang, that a lot of people can't grasp, like they can't put two and two together when they see the quality of performance of GD. Like, how can that be? Like, that's impossible, because BTS really admired them so much when they were young. And I always say, I have never changed my tune about this. Aesthetically, that is the blueprint of YG. They create beautiful aesthetics, beautiful aesthetics. Um, but when it comes to the actual quality of performance, it is not GD that carries Big Bang. It's actually Taeyang. for the vocals, and Sungri. Sorry, Desong. So Desong does the high notes and stuff like that. And then when it comes to rapping, I do prefer Top. And Top was actually the one who was an underground rapper before he joined Big Bang. GD has been like a trainee. He trained for 15 years. First in SM and then he moved to YG. So but the way that he performs now is no different from the way that he performs even before. It's just that it gets amplified because he's alone on stage and we're seeing him perform in like award ceremony. So it's like, why? What the hell? But that's how he has always performed. It's more of a show for him. It's really more an aesthetics. Yeah. Display more than an actual vocal performance. So and that's just like that's the beauty of that's their attraction. That's their selling point, and as I've said, it's aesthetically beautiful. So, that song is super funny. I like him a lot. Where is J Hope and Jin's name? Where here in the Musician of the Year, they're not included in the Rolling Stone 2025 Musicians of the Year. I know that that's not a question. I know it's a okay. This list is whack. Where's Jin and J Hope or even Cordis? Rolling Stones, like it's like okay. All right, they arrived. They're back in South Korea. And so these are some of the pictures. This is your emotional support pictures. Um, these are some of the pictures published by different newspapers. So this is official. They call the reporters to be there when they arrive, and it's all part of the marketing of BTS for their next album. Okay, so it's okay to actually show them. They were there. There were securities. I don't think it was enough securities, and there were a lot of fans who were really trying to get to them. Thank God you have like a Mr. Lee, but I don't think the security is enough. I hated the mobbing. I hate that too. So more pictures of them walking in there. This the two guys in front, they're all part of security. You can clearly see Taeyong because he's wearing red. He stands out. Okay, so there's more pictures of them. We know that RM actually has a silver hair. Um, okay, more pictures of them. There's a picture of them like there's another angle of this one where it just stays slightly hidden, but because Jimin was walking in the middle, it looked like they were they're like a mafia gang, and the prince is actually Jimin or something like that. Okay, so they put a line, but everyone sort of I don't know about these people. It's not so hard. I think this is the angle, or there's another angle where you can actually see the seven boys surrounding Jimin. Um, I can't understand why, because there used to be more people. So this was the arrival. Usually there's more people when they leave, and we used to be able to respect the barricade. I don't know if fans don't respect it anymore because they keep on just like bridging the barricade. It's not fun. And it's also very, very dangerous. It's so frustrating. Okay. It looked like a paid flash mob, but people went under the line once they passed by. They usually allow that. Like once the celebrity passes them, then they can actually bridge the line. But some of them were bridging the line even before they passed. So, and you can actually, there were many videos of Mr. Lee actually pushing people just to get them away from the boys because they're getting too close. They should. I mean, I can understand. Like, if you want to see them, just stay where you are. Just see them. A lot of them actually bring chairs so that they could be high enough to see them. So isn't that enough? I mean, what do you expect when you go close to them? What are you expecting to do? Like, I can't understand these people. Okay. Anyway, I was just so pissed. um. Okay, there's more pictures of them walking. That's the Macne line. Macne, I'm saying Macne line including Jin. The vocal line. Okay. Can someone in LA buy a light stick for Fairlane? They're on Weverse US now? They are? Wait. Oh my gosh. It's available? No, I want to buy. Oh my gosh. Purchase. I'm purchasing right now. I don't okay. Yeah, whatever. Yes. I didn't even look at what was I was buying. I just clicked it. Wait, I did not buy the stand. Oh my gosh. Yay! Wait, I'll show you. I was able to buy. Who said that? Thank you. Who told me? Yay! Okay, wait. Go back to shop. I want to buy the other stuff. Who said that? Thank you so much. I wasn't even like um don't curse, Fairlane. Okay. I was able to I bought the light stick. I wasn't even looking at the other stuff. Okay. Okay, now I can be sane. Let's buy that. Add to cart. Okay, I have the stand. What else should I buy? The BTS and the accessories, right? Is there like a bag that I'm gonna show you? I'm so happy. Okay, my dog is like looking at me, thinking I am crazy. Okay, now let's buy. Okay, I have. Where's my cart? Okay. I have the accessories, the stand, buy three products. Now I'm gonna have to pay for shipping twice. Whatever. Um, PayPal, of course. Yay! I bought it. I did. I got one. I'll show it to you. Still sold out for global. Um, okay, so I'll show you what I bought. Who was that? Who alerted me that it's available? Thank you so much. Um, so for everybody, for everyone in the US, you can go to the store. It's available now. Okay, I just want to show you what I bought. I guess there's no like I wanted the bag where you can actually put the light stick. It's not available, huh? Okay, so I'll show you what I bought. Order history. I paid for I was just rushing to pay for this. So I will have okay, I will show you. It's not working. Oh, there you go. Um, yay! I am so happy. Okay. No. Okay, Weavers America. There, I'll show you. I finally got my light stick. Got the rest last night. It comes with a bag. Oh, it does come in a bag? Okay, I did the same, but that's cause the site was crashing badly. Complaining works. I emailed them yesterday. You did? Okay, I'll show you what I bought. Well, this is one of the things that I bought. I don't care. So I'm now paying twice for the, but I was just scared that it was gonna go away too soon. So I decided I was just gonna buy. You got everything. There you go. Pre-order so shipping on the 23rd to April 6th. So I guess I will be able to bring this to Oh yeah, so I think I can I know. I don't think it will get here in time for South Korea because it's April 6th. So I'm leaving on the 8th. I don't know if I will make it if I whatever. But shipping standard. Uh they don't do multi-pack either, so you get dinged on shipping too. Okay, the light sticks and most parts are sold out. Whoever said Weaver shop is open, thank yous. Yeah, whoever that was that. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I was really like I felt so bad when cuz I was out the entire day yesterday. And so I knew that the light stick was going to go on sale, but it wasn't like I could do anything. I was really like in the middle of stuff. And so I got home and it was just sold out. Do you think that the new light stick will fit in the hard carry case? That I don't know. Version 4 will not work until 6/12. It's not going to work until 6/12. So the last day of South Korea, I bought mine shipped from Korea yesterday. It's ready to ship today. Is global open? Ooh. Okay. Let's continue. I'm so happy. Thank you to whoever said that, whoever alerted me that it's now available. Thank you so much. How much is the shipping? An arm, a leg, kidney, two brain cells, three fingers, and your firstborn. I don't know. I don't know how much shipping is. I just bought. The thing about BTS is that you can't check the price. Like when I was buying ticket for when I was buying ticket for South Korea for the concert in South Korea, I don't even know where I ended up. Like the very first available seat that I saw, I just bought because it was going away right in front of my eyes. If I chose, like if I check, like where am I going to, and I won't be able to buy. That's the case with BTS. You can't choose. You just go with whatever is available to you. Okay. Um, Everybody's buying their light stick. Cool. 1650 according to her. I don't know what the shipping is. I just like clicked and whatever because I didn't want to. But thank you to whoever it was that alerted everybody that it's now available on Weverse US. So let's see. Shipping from US. So a lot of things are now available in the US. I do want to buy the sugar jacket. Okay. 1445. It's about 30 for shipping the total for just the light stick. Um I heart power hour according to Bangi Luna. The SE version will work until the end of the Las Vegas. What do I have? I have all versions, but the ones that I brought, version 3, I think I have the SE. Yeah, I think I have SE. Shipping is $9.92. I don't know how much my shipping is. I did not check. I just click OK. Okay. All right. Um, all right. For the cradle was 10. Okay, so let's continue. So these are some of their pictures. This is your emotional picture. Emotional support picture of the day. You can use the old one in SK. Yes. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using the old one. Okay, that's Jin. Jin is he doesn't have makeup. There are some people that was just blessed physically, I guess. Okay, and that's Jin, and then you have the second oldest, which is Suga, and the fan base of Suga. So this is the photos usually I get from the fan bases. The solo fan bases give them to me, and I was like, why is this bag so big? Well, apparently it's a new Valentino bag. And then version 3 will work forever. It just won't sync. If you have it and not V4, take it anyway and shake with pride. I do have version 3. I also have SE. I don't think I've ever missed a single light stick. I have all of them. Of course, the old ones already kept. But okay. So the fan base of Sugar actually sent this to me. Like, this is his entire outfit. I usually get this from the fan bases. I'm like, thank you so much for sending this to me. Not that I can afford it, but I'm not sure why you're sending it. But okay. So he is donned in Valentino head to toe. So I guess they renew the contract. That is good. So I'm expecting, since this is a new set of contracts, so I'm actually expecting that they're going to do a campaign very soon. Okay. J Hope doesn't want to be seen because I do remember that going out, he was also wrapped, like he wrapped his face and whatever. So I guess I don't know what's going on, but I hope he's okay. Maybe he's just not in the mood. He simply doesn't want to be seen. But someone zoomed into his eyes. Unfortunately, he was blinking when they his eyes were closed when he got to them. But there's your and then his silver hair for RM. Okay, so there you go. So we can expect him having a silver hair in the next music video. Uh, maybe he is ill. Maybe, or maybe he's just trying to set boundaries. Maybe. Okay. Um, version 4 will be supported from June 12. Version 3, SEN4 will be supported till May 28th, the concert in Las Vegas. Okay. All right. Jay was covered the last few lives too. So maybe there's something. Okay. Um, Gangs of New York. It looks like it's just uh V stands out. Well, he always stands out regardless, but he stands out especially because of the red jacket, which I absolutely love. I kind of want to ask it from him. It's just his color. Red is just his color. Okay, that's Jimin and V, and that's Jimin. Okay, and that's V. More of V, just because I really love the jacket. And then you have Jungkook. And then his fan base sent me his pants because I was so okay. That's the pants that he was wearing. He really loves it loose. Do I need to be paying Patreon member to post my extra concert tickets? Um, the concert ticket section is for paying members. Yeah, yeah. Okay, but the BTS section is for everybody. Like, that's open for everybody. Although if you post it there, someone's probably going to tell you have to put it in a concert ticket section, in the touring section. And then that's more of Jungkook. Okay, so one of the issues that came out is that there's actually this woman who tried to get too close to Jimin by pretending to be a reporter, and there were conflicting reports as to who actually caught her. It was the reporters who recognized that she wasn't one of them. Usually, the reporters would kind of know each other already because they see each other in the events that they cover and stuff like that. So they knew that she was a new face. So they knew that she wasn't one of them. And they were trying to, like, are you just a new person here or whatever? And initially, she was like dodging the question. And then I guess eventually they kind of realized, wait a minute, you're assessing, and so they were able to call for help to get her removed from the area, and so she wasn't actually able to get close to Jimin. But this is the extent of the arrangement that these people have. For you to even post as a reporter just so you can have a chance to get close to one of the members. The second is that thank God for the reporters. I mean, they're not our best friends. A lot of times they violate the privacy of the members, but at least in this one instance, they're actually they actually helped because they were the ones who recognized that she wasn't one of them. And also these reporters that are here, as I've said, they were told to be there. In other words, the schedule of BTS for this day, at the very least, for this arrival, it was released to the media. So they have the right to be there because they were given the schedule. But that woman is not supposed to be there. So that thank God that they had the presence of mind to actually call somebody, like to interrogate her, especially because she's a woman. She could have said, "Oh, misogyny, whatever." But yeah, it's irritating that they have to resort to something like that. But there were conflicting reports. But she was. It's not important what fan base she belongs to or whatever. She's a sassing. She's a toxic solo, and that's all that matters. And she shouldn't be there. But then the other thing is that this was actually shared to me by a BTS fan base, and so what they are planning to do is, and this is just the lowest that you can go, or maybe not the lowest, but one of the lows that you can actually go to. They want to buy concert tickets. So they're actually planning to buy tickets from the scalpers, just as so they can bring the light stick of that other group, and then light it when they're there. So they want like a significant section of the stadium to be another color, just because they want to make a statement that that country is supposed to be the country of their favorite. But just that's how pathetic they are. Just okay. So to give you an idea on how low they can actually go. Okay. The reporters also want to eliminate rival reporters, not necessarily out of goodness of their own hearts. Oh yeah, that's what I said. I said they're not our best friends, and most of the time, I'm not saying that this specific reporter did it, or are doing it, but most of the time they violate. Many of these reporters actually violate the privacy of BTS. But at this specific time, at least they had the presence of mind to actually interrogate her, call for, at the end of the day they were able to get her away from Jimin. So okay. Um the other K reporters, okay, question, but don't they go through security? So you can enter, I don't know if you've been to Incheon, but you can go in. There's a specific area that you can go in without any kind of ID. Um like the receiving area, where that's that place that you're looking at. Anyone can go there without having to show tickets or whatever. So that area, you can actually go there and you don't need tickets or whatever. So you can just walk in. And this is set up this way because it's not in South Korea's culture to go to a place when you're not needed. Like this, South Korea is not like the range full of the range people. They're not like that. So I guess that's why there are certain areas that you would think in other countries would be inaccessible, but it is accessible to them. So yeah, you can just walk in there. Now like after that gate, after that door, you cannot go through that door unless you actually have a business to be inside that door. But in this receiving area, anyone can go. Okay. Have this callers seen what Mexican army is capable of doing? Someone needs to play the clips for them. Version 4 can be used during the new tour dates. That's exactly what I was thinking. They will throw hands. Anything they try, army will drown them with their voices and light stick. Don't get caught in the drama. Resistance is futile. I have been army since 2017, and I got my first light stick. Lol. Oh, this is your first light stick. The fandom with their own light stick is hilarious because BTS is the one that benefits from the ticket sales. um, it used to be about 50 guards. Where are they? So there was this one. If you go to Facebook and X, even TikTok, there was this one specific like frame, like incident or moment where Mr. Lee really had to push people away from the boys because they really were trying to get close to the boys. And it's just actually irritating to watch. But I guess that's one of the reasons armies are very, very fond of Mr. Lee because he does not hold back. Like you're not supposed to get this close, get away. Like he really was he was pushing people away, and they should, and he should. The guard should. I mean, no one should be that close to BTS. Okay, my boys will make more money. Get the light stick. You did it? Is it sold out already? No, it's still available. Yeah, it's still available. Okay, it's still available. You can still get it. I was just hoping that there is like um a bag, like carrying case. It wasn't that lady that he pushed. Was there more than one person? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There were more than one person. Can someone tell what YouTube channel are showing correct content, please? Can someone tell what YouTube channel are showing correct content, please? Mr. Lee, there were took me 3 tries, so say how naive and ignorant you are today. See me as up as I have a bridge in San Francisco. Okay. There were a lot of security guards in plain clothes and BTS was secure. And you could tell he was annoyed. Oh yeah. You could tell he was annoyed. And he was using force when he was pushing people. He was using force. He wasn't like just warding them off. He was really pushing people. He was like gaining momentum and then pushing people. The dispatch camera woman is not BTS 7 army. She's only for 2 members only. We complained on her. Thank you for the 411 on the light stick. I got one. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, thank you to that. Who said that? In my country, you there too long without a purpose, security will be on you. You're either there to drop off someone or pick up someone. You just can't be there unnecessarily. I remember the manager of Enhypen hitting a saseng with a newspaper that tried to photograph of the passport of one of the Enhypen members. No global AB. It's on Weverse US. It is on Weverse US. Only USA. Correct. Only USA. For now, it is only on USA. Okay, ready for the next topic? Are there any trolls I'm not seeing? Are you ready for the next topic? So there is a just in case haters. I saw a tweet yesterday. Oh, well, no, not yesterday, but the other day. I was like, Army, you should be angry at this, and I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna read your automatic block. Like anytime you tell me how to feel, I don't think no, you tell me the situation, I'll decide how to feel about it. Okay, next topic. So Hybe, it hit the um Western media that Hybe is cashing out on BTS. It's worth 3.5 million worth of shares, and it's riding on BTS's comeback. So initially, I was like cashing out on BTS and then it's only 3.5 million. I feel insulted. But okay, this is what happened. So this is the entire story. South Korean entertainment giant Hybe plans to sell 5.16 billion South Korean won, approximately 3.51 million worth of shares, cashing them out after a recent stock rally driven by highly anticipated return of their biggest act, BTS. Okay, so this is, I mean, it's chunk change. All right, so think about this. Company like BTS is like BTS, but Hybe, like it's pizza that's divided into several pieces. So each piece is like a stock. So what BTS did, what Big Hit did is to start selling a piece to investors to get cash in return. That's essentially what they did. So some of the stocks that BTS that Big Hit owns, or sorry, Hybe owns, they're starting to sell to other investors. Now the question, of course, a lot of people will ask, like, who is selling? Is BTS selling? Is BTS selling their shares? No, it's actually Hybe selling their own shares. So as a company, they do own some of their own stocks. So they're selling a portion, a very small portion of that to other investors. Okay, so they're not making new slices, meaning they're not adding more stocks, which happens. You can add more stocks to your company, but they are not doing that. They're selling existing stocks that the company owns, but a very small portion. That's why they're only earning or cashing out 3.5 million. So the total number of shares of Hybe remains the same. It does not, they did not create new ones. And of course, it doesn't get diluted, meaning there is no, you know how in the market, when a huge chunk of your shares gets sold, people actually, then there's a shock in the market because there's a lot of selling. The tendency is for the price of your stock to actually go down. Now, that didn't happen because because Big Hit, I keep on saying BTS, because Big Hit or Hybe actually sold them off market. So the the industry, the stock market industry, did not feel that because the transaction happened off market. Okay. So usually in cases like this, they sell the company owned by the seller, or sometimes stocks of the executives. So if you would remember, one of those things, one of the issues that they are trying to raise against Bang Shiyuk is that during the time when Bang Shiyuk bought back the shares from different investors, this is in relation to the stock manipulation charges. If you would remember, during that time, they mentioned a vice president, one of the founding members of Hybe, decided to sell her shares. And it was so big, she held a lot of shares, that Bang Shiyuk knew if she allows this to happen in the market, it's going to crash the stocks, the value of Hybe. And so what he had to do was have someone else buy those stocks in order to not for the company to not be for the value of the company to not drop. He can't allow it to be sold without having anybody else to buy it. So usually executives or founding members can also sell their shares, but this time Hybe sold their own shares. So the article here says in the very first sentence, Hybe plans to sell. So it's their own share. It didn't belong to anybody else. So the question now is, why are they selling it now? So imagine you bought like 10 photo cards for 50 each, and now the value of the photo card is 100 each. Then you're thinking, okay, I'll probably like sell two. At least I'll have $200, right? Something like that. They're like, okay, there's profit. Let's sell some. We can use the money for this and for that. I mean, they're spending a lot of money for the comeback in Gwanghwamun. Why not spend that money on that, or whatever? Maybe they're going to reinvest it on something. But um, the stock went up because BTS is coming back. Investors are excited for the return, and that this is actually, they achieved their 4-year high. So they are very, very close to hitting their all time high. Yeah. So if you would remember, there was a time when people were roasting Hybe for having their shares worth like 130 or something like that. And I was the first one who told people, buy. 130, buy, because it's going to go double. And they achieved that. It has now passed double. And the anticipation is that they're going to surpass their all-time high very, very soon. So Big Hit or Hybe said, well, there's some money to be made. Let's make some money. But it's a very small portion. They only made 3.5 million. Um, Miss Fear, I've been an army since 2015, but only joined Weavers in 2017. Ah, okay. They have extra expenses they have to cover due to SK loss. There were profits. Yeah, It's just profit. They just wanted to cash out on some of the investments, but it's 3.5. It's really not significant. So they sold the shares at 36% discount. Okay, so just in case haters say, "Oh, they're selling it at a discount or whatever," the big blocks of shares are often done off market, meaning if you go, for example, as I keep on explaining this, but if you have like a platform, a stock platform where you trade, where you buy and sell shares, when you sell, if you, for example, you own like, I don't know, like 10,000 shares of Apple, and you sell that, that's going to shock the system, because then the the trading graphs will show that someone's letting go of their shares, so it's going to tank the value of the share. So what they usually do, if they're going to be selling a lot of their shares, they just do it off market. So then the market does not see someone letting go of their shares. Okay. So that's what happened here. They decided we're not going to do it on the market. We're going to do it off market so that we get our money and it doesn't get absorbed by the system. In exchange, you'll if I'm the buyer, you're going to give it to me for 36% less because this is not market. Okay. I'm going to buy the bulk, all of it, but you're going to give me a discount. Okay. So that's what they did. They just gave a discount. So in the short term, they earned 3.5 million US dollars. They're probably going to be reinvesting that. They did not dilute the stocks, and it actually went up. As I've said, they're very close to hitting their all-time high. I'm gonna guess that very close to the return, the comeback in Gwanghwamun, they're probably gonna hit all-time high. They're going to surpass their all-time high. Sell-off on the market just is unsettling and folks lose confidence in the stock. Yeah. Yes. So that's why they do it off market. And how is this going to affect the economy? Long term, no impact, almost no low impact. It's a very small sale. So if people make a big deal out of it, it's just like it's a lot of money for us. Because for me, because I'm poor, you say 3.51 million. That's like that's a lot of money. But for a company like that, it's nothing. I don't know. I mean, I was actually surprised that they only sold that much. Like, I thought they were gonna make like at least 50 million or something. I don't know. Um, okay, if you all want to calm your nerves of all that is happening with the concert, anxious for the concert, watch Speed and Love, see drama. I've watched it like 15 times. Oh, there's actually a movie that I really am watching. So I'm not really much into. I like thriller, action, mind f kind of movies. So there's this Chinese movie. It's a thriller action kind of thing. Jason Yi, one of the leading actors in South Korea, is starring, but not South Korea, China. But I don't know where to watch it yet. So, if Hybe is struggling, then they would have sold more for sure. They would have issued new shares, meaning they would have created more pizza so that they can cut it and then sell it, or they could have take on more debt, but they didn't do that. So I think they just really want to cash out on some of their shares since it is actually up. So no big deal. Calm down. Tell people calm down. Nothing to worry about. They're good. But to explain, so because someone actually asked me what kind of stock big BTS members have, it's actually called uh, um, common stocks is what they have. So if you have a common stock, you can vote. You have voting power, and the amount of votes that you cast depends on the amount of shares that you own. So for BTS, because they own a lot, then they are getting a lot of votes. But that's one of the benefits that they have. And then, of course, if the value of the stock grows, then your wealth grows with it. And then in some instances they get dividends. Not all companies actually give out dividends. There are some, but in some cases they might get dividends. So in the US, like some of the companies that are popular for giving dividends would be Johnson and Johnson. Not Johnson and Johnson. Pfizer gives out dividends. Coca Cola. So I think Apple gives out dividends. So many of these companies don't actually go up a whole lot. Like they don't jump in terms of value simply because they already give dividends. So usually you make your money back by at least how I set it up for Coca-Cola, for example, is that whenever I get my dividends, I just buy new shares. So I don't actually cash it out. I just go and buy new shares. Okay, so but in common stocks, which is the stock that BTS members has, they don't have guaranteed payouts and there is no special protection if the company fails. So if it declares chapter 11, knock on wood, then the last person that can get their money back would be the common stockholders. That's just how it goes. So you are one of the main beneficiaries when the stock goes up, but you don't get protection if anything happens to the company. Okay. Um there are formulas to research stock, but that's a different subject. Yes, that's a different. I'm just giving you an background because some people asked me about this in relation to that headline. And then preferred stocks is also sometimes called the VIP stocks. There is usually fixed dividends, so you do get paid out regularly, and then you get paid before common stockholders. But and sometimes they think that it is actually more stable than common stocks, but you don't get voting rights. Okay. How can you buy Hybe stocks if you live in the US? You need to use um, a fund in the US, sorry, in South Korea. But they're already talking about allowing US citizens to buy stocks in South Korea. You might want to wait. Okay. And then thanks for sharing, Ms. Fairlane. Do you have stocks on Hybe? Yeah, but I used a fund. So I when you use a fund, you're not really sure where your stock is. Your money is. I guess you are. But they kind of decide for you. And usually a fund will not concentrate on one company. They usually will invest in the entire industry. So and that I mean by that I mean the fund is invested in SM, JYP, YG, and Hybe. That's usually how a fund works. Okay, not always, but sometimes. Okay, and then voting stock, and then there's also the voting stock and the non-voting stock. The one that BTS has is a voting stock. So it comes with voting power and often held by founders or executives. Now, BTS is not really considered a founding member of Hybe, but because they are instrumental in the growth of Hybe, which Hybe has already acknowledged several times, they did get those stocks for free. um, and those non-voting stock, same economic benefits, but they don't get to vote. Okay. Okay. So you're basically giving away your money for them to play with. Correct. Correct. Yes. A lot of this is not a crazy concept, by the way. A lot of wealthy people, especially the ones that don't really want to mess with a business, they actually do that. They just put it in a fund, and then there's a fund manager that he's the one who invests, and a lot of people, a lot of some BTS members actually have fund managers. uh, all BTS managers, all BTS members have fund managers. It's safer that way because if you're a prominent personality like BTS, where everything that you do is scrutinized like crazy, allowing having a fund manager and then allowing that fund to just invest your money kind of gives you a little bit of distance from your investments, right? So if anything happens to that company, you have the um you have the benefit of deniability because you're not directly investing in the company, it's the fund. So you're not deciding on your money, and um you're not just invested in one company. Hi, Fairlane from Freezing, Pennsylvania. Hello. So a lot of people like it that way. A lot of celebrities like it that way because they're not directly involved in a company. So, for example, I am personally invest. Not that I have a lot of investments, but I do have stocks. For example, in Tesla, I have stocks in Tesla, and so any if because a lot of people hate Elon Musk, they can use that against me and say, well, she's invested in a company owned by this, like, this person, and this person is a horrible human being and whatever, blah blah blah. They can use that against me, right? Because I have stocks in that company. I'm directly investing in that, and I was the one who bought the stock directly. So if, for example, one of the BTS members do that, if they do that, then a lot of people can use that against them. Well, you're investing in Tesla, or you're investing in Apple, or whatever, and they're financing this kind of blah blah blah. So they can use that against the members. But if they're not managing their own money, they can deny there's a distance between them and their investments and whatever is that company doing. Does that make sense? That's why there's a lot of celebrities who actually use a fund manager rather than investing it on their own. Okay. Boys with funds. If she's a problem, block her. I sold my Tesla stocks a few years ago. I'm gonna hold on to it. I think it's gonna go up to $1,000. But I'm not making a call. It's just I think I'm not in that stage yet where I need it. So I have my funds in my IRA Infidelity, so that one of the funds companies that can invest in Hybe. No, you have to give your money to a fund in South Korea. I haven't found a SK focused ETF that invests in Hybe that I like. I will wait until July. Okay. So then there are also companies that have different levels of stock, class A, class B, class C. So, and it goes in different ways. Like different classes will have different votes. So for example, if you're class A, one vote is one share. If you're class B, 10 votes per share. If you're class C, 0 votes, something like that. So, but that usually it's not a standard practice. It's more like a corporate practice. So some companies would do it this way, that there are different classes of their investments. Next, there's also treasury stocks, which is the kind of stock that Hybe actually just sold. These are stocks that company already issued, then bought back, and now they hold it themselves. So as those are the one that BTS, I'm sorry, Hybe just sold. That's a treasury stock, and so they used to have it, sold it, bought it, and now sold it back again. So usually this has no dividends. They don't get votes. It's just that it is allowed to be resold later. And then there's employee stock, and this is what Min Hee-jin actually got. And if this is one way, a lot of employees actually become rich when they join a company, especially if it's a startup, because usually the package includes share in the company. That's a risk because you don't know if the company is going to make it or not, right? So, but usually they give you stock options, especially if it is a tech company and then it's a startup. To get you to join them, they would issue stock options for you. Tesla did this a lot in the earlier years of Tesla. They would offer, or even Google, even Meta, they usually they offer stock options to their employees. And then usually that has a set of conditions. Like you can't sell it either until the company reaches a certain point, or you yourself has reaches a KPI. So for example, this is just an example. They can say like until your department brings in, I don't know, $50 million, then you won't have this stock. Or it could be that until the company is worth 1 billion, you can't sell your stock or something like that. Or it could be dependent on your own performance or something like that. But that is the kind of stock that Min Hee-jin got from Hybe, the restricted stock units. Okay. um for her, so an RSU, a restricted stock units, a restricted stock unit is dependent on time or performance, and for her it was time. Like she was told you can only sell it after 5 years or something like that. So she got an RSU, And then BTS members were given common stocks. So initially, the voting rights, you all know this, initially the voting rights were tied to Bang Shiyuk, and then eventually they got their own, now they control their own votes. Okay. Next topic. I think we have enough time. We have about 15 minutes. But before that, do you have questions? Um, can they use that concept to give MHJ nothing since all she touched so far has yielded nothing? She has absolutely destroyed the IP. But the problem was that when she cashed out her stocks, her when she used her put option, the income of the company was still good and the IP was still good, meaning New Jeans. I, of course, I have no quantifiable way of defending what I'm about to say, but I think New Jeans IP is not worth anything anymore, if at all it is negative. I think this them trying to salvage the IP is more to make a statement rather than to make their money back. Now, Lee Dokyong, the new CEO of Adore, can still perform miracles and actually recover the IP. If she does, she will go down in history as one of the best branding and marketing experts in the whole world. because because the IP of New Jeans is absolutely obliterated. Um, so yeah, so if she recovers, she's going to go down in history as one of the best ever. But in my opinion, I think that IP is worth nothing. Nothing is it's a negative at this stage, but I think it's more a statement. That's why they're trying to salvage the IP. A statement that you cannot, and this is more valuable at this stage in Hybe's career, in Hybe's corporate lifetime, corporate life, that in their history, it's very important for them to emphasize that you can't do that to the company. You can't just unilaterally say that your contract is not good, like you're not going to honor the contract and get away with it. Now people know that Hybe is going to fight for it, even if it tanks their own company, even if the IP is destroyed. They would rather that the IP gets destroyed than somebody else to actually get it. Does that make sense? I think that's a statement that that's trying to make. Okay, if the hag couldn't take them, she sure made their IP implode. Does Hybe have call option for the stocks they gave to MHJ? MHJ has the put option, not Hybe. Adore would be smart to just create a new girl group with the remaining members start from scratch. I think if Minji returns, I don't think they're gonna get a new member unless they make it 7. If there are 3, I think there'll be a case for them to get new members. You'll be in court in a heartbeat. Send those girls to therapy. Okay, let's talk about. We have time, 13 minutes. I can do this. Okay, this is just interesting. So I'll give you a teaser and then I'll discuss this a little bit more. This is essentially how the market is reacting to BTS. So Chartmaster released their 2025 review of the music industry. So there's a lot of interesting insights from their study. But one of the biggest insight that they got, or at least I would consider the most important insights of the many insights that they got from their study, one of the most important is the realization of the Western labels that there are a lot of vibrant culture outside of the West with both aesthetic and substantial depth to explore for them. I think one of the most difficult things that they had to face in the recent years is the monolithic feel of their music, because it feels like it's the same thing over and over again because they have been gatekeeping the Western music industry, right? So it's the same players over and over again. And because it is the same players, they're looking into just duplicating the formula that they have been using in the past and then reapplying it and reusing it over and over again because in their heads, this is going to bring them more money. Now, with the entrance of BTS and with their success, they kind of realized, oh, wait, like there's a different sound out there, different aesthetics out there. It's more vibrant. There's a lot more for us to explore. And they're starting to do that. That's why I said in the title that they want their own Gwanghwamun and their own ARIRANG, because they're looking now into exploring the aesthetics and the local narratives, the culture, the tradition, the sound, the literature of Asia. That's what they're looking into now. Okay, so these are some of the results. So I will discuss, as I've said, I'll discuss this in greater detail later. But so this, in terms of making it big, Korea and Norway dominated as worldwide exporters. So they are exporting music, movies, IPs, different intellectual properties. They are the biggest exporter. So I'm going to concentrate on South Korea because that's Asia, but also Norway. So that's the biggest market. And then that's the biggest insight. And then regional markets were an influential driver for breakthrough talent. So regional, when they say regional, that means outside of the US. So they're realizing that a lot of the singers or a lot of the acts that are really making money are actually outside of the US. So, and this were all, it took them years to realize this, but they're finally realizing that. And the thing is that they're capitalizing on it because a lot of the majors, so for example, UMG, Universal Music, they're actually investing in in Asian companies. Okay. So this is the difference between 2020 and 2025. You can see how the different genre is actually starting to dominate. So others actually include K-pop. And in others, K-pop dominates that. So a lot, so you can see like in back in 2020, pop and hip hop led in terms of trend. Now it's reversed, it's the other, and that's primarily K-pop that's dominating in terms of net income. Um, Social continues to antagonize others and create discord in the chat. Social, PM Social, PM Social, antagonize Bill. So block her until I see her blatantly violating community rules, like cursing, insulting people here, or lying out flat out, like spreading misinformation. I can't block, I can't stop her from stating her piece. So just block her. You have to, this is one of the things that I've learned, like I can't just block people that are just inconvenient. Yeah, they have to they have to violate community rules. So just block her. And then if I see her saying something that violates community rules, then I will block her. But for now, she's like she's irritating, but just tethering on the edge of. Okay. So going back. So now going back to this. So the K-pop is the one that's dominating. So they're talking about sales. All right. They're talking about sales. That a lot majority of the sales in North America, well, Western in the US, they're actually K-pop. So the share of hip hop and pop has lessened. They're not away. They haven't gone away completely, but it has lessened. Okay, next. So because of this, and this is like several years of study and realization, but um they're finally like actually putting their money where their mouth is, because they're starting to buy companies in Asia, one of which is Excel Entertainment. Excel is one of the most important in terms of creative innovation. um they are actually actively looking for companies like this to invest in. Now, Excel Entertainment, as I've said, in India, they're very influential because they introduced a new form of creatives for films. Because aside from being a production company that creates films and movies, they actually are um, holding rights over the songs that they use in the movie. That's kind of their business model. And so what happens is that whatever song they use for the movie, um, they own the rights. And so since Universal is investing in them, Universal will then have the rights to these songs as well. And they can distribute those songs into the US. Um, the other thing is the underlying reason for Universal in for them the reason underlying reason for Universal buying into a company like this is their recognition that narrative is actually very important in the future of music. So if you would remember in the Luminate study, I shared that one of the major aha moments this year is the Western industry finally realizing that people want narrative with the songs. So they don't just like an artist releasing one album and that's it, like 1 year. They want a narrative around it because that's how the consumption is right now. The music is tied to films and tied to live performances and tied to other literature the same way movies are tied to movies are tied to music and stuff like that. Like it's a 360 kind of art experience for people. So for that is where Universal and other American entertainment companies are. They recognize that they need to spend on or invest in companies that package art, different forms of art together. So for Excel Entertainment in India, that's what they do. They primarily produce movies, but tied to that is music and live performances. And they have continued investing um in other companies like that. Will the move away from TikTok songs? I think so. I think there's going to be a segregation. There's definitely a place for TikTok songs, but those are especially the incoming generation, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They have this way of like segregating the what they consume. They know which one is art and which one is just a trend. Not that they will stop consuming the trend, they just know that this is a trend and not art. Does that make sense? So I don't think it will not necessarily go away like TikTok music. It will go away, but I think it will have its place. Like the future generation will be able to compartmentalize. This is art. This is TikTok trend. This is whatever. They call what they're doing glocalization. It's not a new term. I'm sure you've heard of this before. But essentially, they're taking in local culture, local sounds, local customs, and then making it global. And because Asia is such a new region for them, most of what they're trying to localize are local to Asia. So other investments that they've made is acquiring a majority stake in A Sketch, which is a Japanese label and management company that were responsible for acts like One OK Rock. If you would remember, One OK Rock is the one of the bands that Jin collaborated with. Um, uh, in his past album. Fairlane, how do you calculate the expected audience hotel rooms hotel room bookings, airline tickets? Usually, airline sales, the police, Seoul Metropolitan Police, is working with the tourism department of South Korea, so they do have those estimates. So that is one of the reasons why I said I'm very surprised that they actually are very conservative in their estimate because in the last year, we all know that it resulted to about 400,000 people. Not last year, but in the 10th anniversary, it actually resulted to 400,000 people. Okay, so And then for another thing is that UMG is also expanding to Thailand and Vietnam, aiming to be a market leader in this high profile potential area. So I think they've already bought into about 10 companies in Thailand, in Vietnam, and it's all connected to movies, music, and live events. So not only UMGs, Warner also started, and of course Live Nation. Live Nation is going through the different stadiums in Asia. So they're investing in different um, in the it's going to be useful in the sorry, they are investing in the different stadiums in different Asian countries. Okay. So they also UMG also purchased a catalog of UK based South Asian labels. So there's a huge Asian there are many labels in London that are actually in the UK that cater specifically to Asian music, and so they bought a lot of their catalogs. So all of this, if you put them together, it's really a testament on how companies like UMG, they are appreciating and investing on regional sound. And again, when I say regional sound, it's probably going to be Asia that I'm talking about. And then they're also appreciating now. And when I say appreciate, includes that's from a business perspective, the Asian culture. So that's why they're investing in a lot of companies that cater to Asian culture, that sell Asian culture. Okay. So, okay, I will and the one thing, and this is going to be the last slide and then I'll continue in the next live stream. But remember, like for example, for K-pop Demon Hunters, as great as that is, do remember that this was created by Sony Music, distributed by Netflix. So South Korea is not benefiting from this directly at the very least, because all the earnings are going to Netflix and to Sony. So the goal, and that's what essentially many of these US companies are doing. They're buying into into companies that are in Asia, and then they're repackaging them and using that to distribute to the Western market so that they can earn from it. So which is not entirely what we want, because what we want is for more Asian countries, or more companies from Asian countries, to be able to export their work without having to pass on the earnings to Western companies. Okay. Um I think if okay, regional areas share culture, correct. Regional areas share culture. Let's look at Weavers. Someone said that there's an announcement that might be beneficial for me because I'm going. Okay. So, all right. So you can apply now. I don't know if anyone is actually going to Weavers, sorry, to watch the Gwanghwamun comeback, but I will, but you can now apply. And I think there's a purchase requirement, but I've already discussed that in the beginning. So yeah, the application is open. I definitely am going to apply. But before I end this, do you have questions? You'd like to keep the K in K-pop? BTS is going global though. It is tempting. Thanks. I saw some people speculate that it will be a 360 degree stage. The Weavers notice just disproved that. Yeah, there were some initial speculation that it might be 360. I think they would want to keep the palace in front of them, sorry, behind them, and then the audience in front of them. I've discussed the significance of facing south. So that was the one of the reasons I thought like this probably not going to happen, because if they do 360, they will have to put the palace on their left or on their right. Um, and I think traditionally that's not how it is done. You have to put the palace behind you and in front and face the south. So, yeah, they are taking SK culture to the world. They are, but then the thing is that the earnings isn't going to them, and that will happen to other countries as well. Right now, it is it's happening to South Korea, but for many Asians here, that might happen to you as well. That others might benefit from your culture and your sound before your own country does, right? If they continue doing this. So eh, like sure, um more people are familiar with K-pop because of K-pop Demon Hunters, but the question is whether or not it's going to be treated as legit art or a niche. And then the other thing is that regardless of, let's just say, let's put that aside, will the earnings actually cascade down to South Korea, right? Um they are facing south with the palace behind them. Yeah, because that's traditionally how it's supposed to be. You have to the palace is right behind you, and then south you're facing south. Okay. Okay. All right. Donna, I see your comment. I think it was because of the tour will have 360-degree stage, so they assume that at the comeback show will be too. It could be, yeah. It could be that. And I wouldn't. I mean, had they decided to go 360, I also wouldn't have been surprised. But I just thought that because they want to keep tradition. This is what the comeback is about: tradition, Korean identity. So I thought they would be faithful to how they used to do things, and that means them actually facing south and putting the palace behind them. Okay. Do you have questions before I go? Fire Butterfly said, PM Social, please just avoid the ridiculous fan wars. Ah, yeah, we love everybody here. I PM Social, if you came here thinking that we're bashing other groups, I'm sorry, but actually, um, I think one of the things that my this audience or this community has actually learned is that I'm one of those that love so many groups. I think I remember being asked like, how many groups do you actually stand? Because I do. Even if you go to our publication, we do have an online magazine, Asian Entertainment and Culture. We feature a lot of people there. And then even in the YouTube channel, I mostly do it in shorts. I post about other groups. So if that's what you're here for, if you're here just so you can meet the community, you're always welcome. But if you're here looking for fan wars, we just don't do it here. I'm sorry. That's just not how we are. We do constructive criticism, even on BTS. By the way, even BTS, we do constructive criticism. But if you're looking for fan wars, that we're bashing other groups, it's just not just this is not the group for you. You will be disappointed. Okay. So I hope that you're here because you want to meet the community, not because you want fan wars. It's just, I guess also the other thing is a lot of the people here are a little bit more mature. So not a little bit, but really way more mature. Like a lot of these people that you're talking with, they have work, they have, a living. So we're already way too busy supporting the groups that we have. We don't have time to do fan wars anymore. Okay? But you're always welcome here. Don't feel that we don't welcome you. But if you're looking for fan wars, not the place. All right. Yes, no shipping, no toxic solos. We support groups and members that are doing their solo activities, but we don't do fan wars, we don't do shipping and stuff like that. Okay, PM Social, you're always welcome, just not fan wars. Okay? I hope that next time you come in, you have that mindset. We're just here to enjoy. And if you have requests, topics that you want me to talk about, just let me know. Okay? All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.